Hey everyone, it's Lindy, and welcome to our Serapatome today. Thank you so much for joining me. So, today I thought it would be a great idea to make a video on 10 benefits of sobriety, okay? Because this has been a big part of my journey, and I feel it's only necessary to share all the positive aspects that came with me getting sober. So let's begin. So the first thing I put on my list was no more hangovers. Okay. And that is a huge one. Because, when we're talking about sobriety, for me, sobriety means drinking no alcohol at all. Okay. And doing, of course, no hard substances, no hard drugs, okay? But yeah, so that's what sobriety means to me, and is what sobriety is it's living your life. It's a lifestyle, right? And it's a lifestyle where drugs and alcohol are not included. Okay? And this is a lifestyle. I've also lived the other way. So I've also lived a non-sober life earlier on my journey. And I have been sober for several years now, okay? So this is totally integrated into my daily life at this point. But there was a point in my earlier years where, sobriety wasn't that important to me. And it was something that I really didn't care for, and it just wasn't my lifestyle, okay? But so I've lived on both ends of the spectrum, and I've received so many benefits from being sober. It's like just night and day. And now that I look back, it's hard for me to believe that I once lived in a very unsober, unconscious way, okay? And that's for many reasons, but I'm not going to get into that. I just really want to share with you guys all the benefits I received from being sober. And I said, number one, I do not have hangovers. I never have a hangover, guys. I haven't had a hangover in, over 4 years. Almost 5 years, okay? And so you could only imagine all the time you gain not feeling hungover, not feeling your best. And you feel your best more often because that's just not, if alcohol's not in the equation, then you're not going to experience any of the toxic effects on your body, mind, and spirit that alcohol has. So I noticed, I went to bed and got a really good night's rest. And that's a big aspect of sobriety as well, because when we're drinking alcohol, it really messes with our sleep patterns and can really mess that up for people. And of course, a healthy person is someone who gets a good amount of sleep and is well rested, because that's when our body rejuvenates, right? So, I go to bed and I get really good rest now, and I wake up feeling pretty good most days. Most days I feel pretty good. So not because, with hangovers, it's not only the physical negative aspects it has on your body, where you may get sick, you may be like throwing up, you may have a splitting headache because alcohol really severely dehydrates you, okay, and makes your brain swell basically, and that is why people get such horrible headaches when they're hungover. Your energy levels are lower. And you like, for me, I used to spend my whole morning kind of nursing my hangover, and it just being a really unpleasant thing. And then I felt like I lost most of my day because I felt so horrible. And then also it really has some emotional and mental effects on you as well. A hangover does. So of course you feel very lethargic. So your motivation goes way down, and you can start getting, it's easier to experience anxiety and depression and just low vibrational feelings like that when you're hungover. So it really, alcohol really does deplete your whole entire body, not just your physical body. It depletes your spiritual body, and your emotional body. Okay, so I would say that's a huge thing, and that was something that I noticed right off the bat when I very first got sober and quit drinking alcohol. That's one of the first things you notice. Okay, so number 2 is, since I've been sober, I have much more clarity and I'm much more clear-headed. So with that comes a lot, right? So it's much more easier for me to think clearly and make really good decisions for myself, because I'm having more clarity. I also, in this clarity, receive clarity on so many things that didn't make sense or I did not have clarity on previously. Okay, so when I talk about clarity, I got clarity on what a higher power was for me personally, and realized my specific beliefs around spirituality and integrating a higher power or the universe or God into my life. I got really clear on what that meant for me, and that's of course been very beneficial. I've also gotten really clear on what my life path is and what I really, really want to do, and what direction I want to go. So clarity is a really big one that comes with sobriety. The longer, and I want to also explain that out of these 10 benefits of sobriety I'm going over today, all of these get stronger and come more and more the longer you maintain sobriety. Okay, so number 3 for me is I had more motivation and direction on a daily basis. So life just became a lot more easier, okay, for me to get through on a daily basis, and therefore I could do things with more ease, and I just have more motivation and drive. When you're under the influence of something, there's always like going to be consequences afterwards, where you just, even just not having motivation to do anything and not feeling driven and have drive, that's like a huge something that can hugely affect your daily life. So then when you have motivation and direction on a regular basis, that's going to make a huge impact on your life. So number 4 is I found out things about myself, and I really gained a lot of self-knowledge and had many realizations, self-realizations. So I really got in touch with myself, and it's like, before I was sober, of course, like, I knew myself. But when you get sober and you live a sober lifestyle, that just becomes so much more that way. I mean, I really learned things about myself that I hadn't quite 100% put together. I had clarity on a lot of things about myself. So I'll just give you some examples. I always knew that I was a sensitive person, that I was really sensitive in a lot of ways, and I've always been very artistic and things like this. Okay. But after I got sober, I started to realize specifically how I was sensitive, and I highly resonated with the term empath. I did not find out I was an empath until I got sober. And then when I found out what an empath was, it made it was a huge realization for me in my life. Once I found out that I was an empath, that was half the battle. Is self-knowledge. That's like half the battle about anything. And then once I found that out, then I could really start working on making that a strength and strengthening my intuitive abilities, and learn how to balance it and like maintain it so it doesn't get out of control. Because you can, if you're not aware that you are an empath, and it's like you don't really know what to do about it, or what's going to help, and you can become an impaired empath where you really have a hard time. So you just get more self-knowledge, and you get to know yourself like you've never known yourself before in your life. So that's really great. And I actually really love to be alone and spend time by myself. Another thing I realized about myself when I got sober is that I'm actually more introverted than extroverted. I always thought of myself when I was a drinker as being really extroverted. Like, I really like to go out and have fun with my friends. I always like to be around people and be really social. But then when I got sober, I realized that, introverts aren't always shy, okay? To be introverted, that just means that you recharge when you're alone. So instead of recharge around other people. And so I realized that to recharge, I need to be by myself. And to feel really grounded, I feel the most grounded when I'm by myself. And I like to just do creative projects and meditate and things like this. I like to do all kinds of stuff like that just by myself and really just get lost in myself. So I found out I was introverted, and I didn't think that before I got sober. So number 5 is your awareness increases. Big time your awareness increases, because if you're not sober and you like to drink and you're a drinker, or of course if you're abusing any substances, then you really become kind of unconscious and unaware. You're really like unaware in general. You're unaware of how your actions are affecting other people. You're unaware that what you're doing is self-destructive. And then, I would apply that to me, of course, when I was a drinker. But you can say this, about a lot of people when they're under the influence of things. You're just not quite as aware. And when I got sober, I got so much awareness that, I found out the journey of my soul. I started connecting to my heart. I started opening my third eye up. I've had awareness about things I had never had awareness about before I got sober. Even like negative things I became aware of about our society, and the way the world is ran in general. I got awareness and clarity on those types of things. Now, does that mean that everything, the way the world is ran, and what goes behind the scenes, it all makes sense to me? No, it doesn't all make sense to me, but it makes a heck of a lot more sense to me now, now that I've gained clarity on a lot of things and aspects of life, and I have awareness. So awareness is just simply being aware that something is. Okay, that's all that is. So your awareness goes up a lot in sobriety. That's for sure.
Okay, number
So
6
is your vibration naturally raises. Okay. And so you get closer to ascension when you are living a sober lifestyle. Of course, certain drugs and alcohol is really low vibe. And by raising your vibration, you know, you are going to have higher thinking, okay? Your thinking is going to be on a higher plane. Your emotions are going to be more even kill. And synchronicities are going to be more apparent to you. So it's very beneficial to try and live in the highest vibration possible. And while we're on the topic of vibration, living a sober lifestyle is really beneficial because of the vibration raising of our planet. Okay, our planet Earth is moving into a higher vibrational energy of our galaxy. Okay, and so the higher your vibration is, the better you're going to handle this energetic shift that we are currently going through. Okay, so that's why it's really beneficial to be in a high vibrational state, because it's just going to be easier. This transition is going to be easier on you. For sure. So the 7th benefit I've received from living a sober life and from sobriety is financial insecurity left me. Okay. Definitely it frees up your pocketbook. Okay. And I feel that when people are under the influence, or they're drunk, or they're high in some way, especially being drunk, okay? Unfortunately, in my past, I've had a lot of experience with that. And actually, I don't even regret that, because it really pushed me into living a sober life. It pushed me there. I would have never been motivated to live a sober lifestyle if I hadn't gone through the darkness and being drunk. So, but like when you're drunk, of course, alcohol is really expensive. You're spending a lot of money on the alcohol itself. Okay, when that's your lifestyle, when you have a drinking lifestyle, you spend a lot on booze. Okay. But then also when you're drunk, you don't make the best decisions always. So you kind of get careless. You can get really careless with your money and, be frivolous with your money. So when you are sober, I mean, for me, like all that went away. And I also gained faith in the universe, and I got really spiritual. And so I developed faith that the universe is always going to provide for me. No matter what, it's always going to give me what I need. And that has been the case. I mean, I'll just receive checks in the mail, like out of the blue, when I might be a little tight on money or something. Also, my husband has gotten really into cryptocurrency. Okay. And, that's not something I think he would have, realized if he was a drinker. So that's just him. I'm not saying that applies to everyone, but I definitely say for a lot of people, when they get sober, financial insecurity leaves them. There's just not so much fear around it, and you have more faith you're going to be taken care of financially, and then you really start seeing that in your life too. It's not just like having faith, it's like actually seeing it in your life. And that awareness and that clarity helps you see the the way a higher power is working in your life. You see a lot more synchronicities. And around money, I've seen that with financial matters. So that is a big benefit for sure. Number 8 is I got clarity on my true calling. I got really, really clear in sobriety about what I wanted to do with my life, what was my true life calling, what the right path for me to go down was. And I would say that I had a hint of it before I got sober. I had a hint, but I mean, in my sobriety, I started this YouTube channel in my sobriety. I discovered meditation, and meditation helped me get really, really clear on what my life path was, and following my heart. Okay, that just became not even something, it just became part of my life, and I just really started figuring it out. And I feel like my true life calling is doing Reiki, but I'm just really passionate about spirituality and holistic health. I'm really passionate about all that stuff. So a lot of things under that umbrella, I really incorporate into my healing arts practice. So number 9 is, this is a big one too. Number 9 is my confidence and self-esteem skyrocketed. Okay, now when I say confidence, of course, that's different than being arrogant or self-absorbed or being like narcissistic. Confidence is just the ability of really believing in yourself and feeling just very confident and knowing that you are capable of achieving certain things. And I just feel really confident in myself and very empowered in my sobriety. Very empowered, and my self-esteem has gone up a lot because you can work more towards your full potential and achieve that in sobriety. And so, of course, the more you are working to your full potential, the more confident you are. Also, too, you're not having to experience like doing like stupid or outrageous or hurtful things when you're drunk, okay? You're not experiencing the guilt and the shame and remorse you have about that, okay? That's no longer part of your life. So you actually do have a lot more control over your emotions and over situations and handling life, handling things as they come. You can handle it in a much, much, much better way, okay? And so then that really, like when you're not feeling guilt and remorse and embarrassment over the things you've done, then naturally your self-esteem just goes up, and so does your confidence, because you're not feeling bad about things that you've done. And then, of course, in sobriety, like, I'm not perfect. I am still a human being, and I still make mistakes. So, you know, just because I'm sober, that doesn't mean I'm like this perfect human being. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? But if I make a mistake, it does much less damage. Okay? And I can do damage control on that, and I can say I am sorry and correct my wrong, make right whatever I did wrong or incorrect, right? So it's a lot easier to live life and to, you know, not have to constantly be doing damage control all the time. And it seems like the hurts and mistakes that you make when you're drunk are a lot more significant than when you're sober. I mean, that's been my personal experience, okay? Most definitely. And then number 10 is just your energy levels go up, okay? And your overall health improves. So absolutely, of course, you have a lot more energy on a regular basis, and your health improves significantly in so many ways. So, I mean, your entire whole being is healthier. So you're healthy spiritually, you're healthier spiritually, you're healthier physically and mentally and emotionally. And of course, drinking alcohol and doing other, like, putting other chemicals and substances, drugs in your body, that really takes a toll on your liver, most of all. It really damages your liver. And actually, I know they even say, like, drinking 2 glasses of wine, 1 or 2 glasses of wine on a daily basis is healthy, but more recent studies, and if I may, like, give you guys some links to this article about this, but I read an article that said, like, even recent studies are saying that, like, no alcohol at all is even healthy to ingest, because it's something to do with the flavonoids, but they're basically saying that the risk outweigh the benefits of drinking alcohol, and that you can find flavonoids and things like this in other healthier, like food and things like this. So it's not even worth it for the health benefits. So absolutely, you have more energy. You just, and also, like, in my sobriety, I got more physically healthy because I have more energy. So then I had energy to go do, like, fun activities, There's more room for activities. More room for activities, guys, if you live a sober lifestyle, because, like, I took up bike riding, and, I was never really that into bike riding before, since I was, like, a kid. And I ride my bike all the time, and I actually enjoy working out and enjoy taking care of myself and living a healthy lifestyle. I really enjoy that and like to do it now. It feels good to get physical exercise for me. And when I was a drinker, that wasn't so much the case. And, I mean, that's pretty much the benefits of living a sober lifestyle. Of course, if you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. And please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I have lots of other videos on here about spiritual and metaphysical and healthy, holistic health topics. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Okay, but have a blessed day. I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.